All right, y'all, it's Jack again with some movie recommendations. The list today is the best films of 2019. I have 12 for you. Why 12? Because there were 12 movies I wanted to highlight. There weren't 15, there weren't 10, there were 12. So let's start. Number 12, Making Waves. This is a documentary about the production of sound in movies, the history of it, how they do it, the art of it. And if you have ever wondered what's the difference between sound editing and sound mixing, because they always have those at the Oscars, they always have sound editing and sound mixing. This is the perfect documentary for you because the it is about sound production in film. And I'm recommending this because it is also just a love letter to movies, and it is a great cinema documentary. You learn so much, but then at the same time, you're going through the history of cinema, and it's highlighting, some of the greatest films of all time, and your appreciation for them grows because they explain the breakthroughs in sound in film that came because of those movies. Like, for example, Apocalypse Now was the first film to use surround sound. First, there was one mono speaker behind the screen, and then there was stereo, and that was a big innovation. But then Apocalypse Now was the first movie where you actually had surround sound speakers all over the place, and then had it mixed so that it will go all around. And that's the first, the from the opening scene of Apocalypse Now, when you hear the helicopter, it goes around the whole. I mean, it must have been mind blowing to be in a theater for the first time and hear surround sound. Anyway, Making Waves, fantastic documentary. You should watch it. Okay, number 11, Jojo Rabbit. Taika Waititi wrote and directed this World War II movie about a Nazi youth boy who finds out that his mother, played by Scarlett Johansson, is hiding a Jewish girl in the walls of their home. It is a dark comedy. It's so funny right off the bat. It gives you some really great laughs, and it's also so endearing. It's got such a great heart. Scarlett Johansson is amazing in it. She's so lovable and adorable as this mother, this single mother who is so good at inhabiting her son's world. Absolutely fantastic movie. Okay, number 10, Little Women. Greta Gerwig really delivers. The structure of the movie is maybe the most brilliant part. The way that the movie was written to be edited, that the editing of the movie was written into the screenplay is ingenious. The performances are great. Saoirse Ronan as Joe is amazing, and Timothy Chalamet is perfect for the character that he plays. I mean, so good. Greta Gerwig's new take on this is so essential for our time. One of the things she does really well is she handles the book with love, and even the elements that you would maybe think wouldn't mesh well with our current culture, she handles in a really excellent way. It's a great adaptation of Little Women. It's also just a good movie that's worth watching, and that's why it's my number 10 in the best films of 2019. Number 9, The Avengers Endgame. Now, some of you are probably surprised that I'm putting this on my list of best films of 2019. I actually loved this movie. Infinity War was the one that got me into the Avengers and wanting to see more of them, because I was so impressed with that one because I happened to see it. And when I went to Endgame, I mean, being in the theater for Endgame on opening weekend is one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. And it is such a fulfilling end to this saga that they have been building up for the past decade. I mean, and the way that they just delivered in such a satisfying way is has gotten to be pretty rare these days. I mean, if you think about Game of Thrones, the way that like that petered out, and I mean, I don't watch the show, but um, people like everyone was disappointed by the ending, and nobody was really all that disappointed by Endgame. It seemed to please all around, so that's why it's on my list of the best movies of 2019. Number 8, The Lighthouse. Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, written and directed by Robert Eggers. Wow, I mean, this was one of the movies I was looking forward to most in 2019, and it did not disappoint. Robert Pattinson gives a great performance. Willem Dafoe gives one of his best performances ever. The cinematography, though, in this movie is just so mind blowing. It's shot on film in black and white with like 100-year-old lenses, and the look that they achieved is just so moody and so specific and so stunning. I mean, it's one of the greatest examples of cinematography of the decade. And so to me, that's the big highlight of the film. But it's also got these great performances, these wonderful sets. Some of the visuals that you see are so striking. The screenplay is bonkers good. I mean, and the way that Eggers writes so that they're actually speaking uh, like in a way that is authentic to the time that they're in is mind-boggling to like as a writer. I wonder how he was able to achieve what he achieved. It's also a great quarantine film because they're in isolation on this island and they're stuck together in this little space, and so I feel like it would be a good movie to watch right now. Okay, number 7, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino. I mean, again, I was so excited for this movie. I saw it 3 times the weekend it came out, and it is so fun. It is easily his most accessible movie, I feel like, because it's just, you know, everything is nice. You know, you just get like the like this is why I love. I mean, it's a movie where Tarantino is saying this is why I love the '60s, and we get it. You know, through the movie, we enjoy so much of this world that he's built for us that where we get in on his love for the '60s. And Brad Pitt is so funny in it. Leonardo DiCaprio, such a great performance. And yeah, no, I mean it's a really fun movie. Don't get distracted by how long it is. It's a easy movie to watch. All right, number 6, Dragged Across Concrete, starring Mel Gibson. Now, this one might make you a little worried because it's Mel Gibson, but like, you know, I don't know. But Mel Gibson, he's kind of gotten what he deserved, right? And then now we can enjoy Mel Gibson movies again. If if you feel comfortable doing that, watch Dragged Across Concrete. The screenplay is so good. The writing is so good. The pacing is so good. It's like a western, but it's set in modern day. And some people it's getting this bad rap. Some people are calling it a conservative movie, a Blue Lives Matter movie. It's not. It's not a Blue Lives Matter movie at all. It is a story. Some people, they watch a movie, and because the main character expresses a view or goes through something or represents something, they think the movie is representing that. And it's not. This movie is not a liberal movie or a conservative movie. It's just it shows you a story. It shows you actual life, and it's so good. And it's got such a great development, and then the finale and the ending. It is spectacular. It's a spectacular movie. Easily the most underrated movie of 2019. People did not watch this, and they should have because it is good. Number 5, Marriage Story. This is just a no-brainer. Every performance in this movie is fantastic. Every single one. From the supporting characters with Ray Liotta and Laura Dern to the main character Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. Such wonderful performances, and then the writing is also so good. Noah Baumbach's one of his best screenplays, and Adam Driver gives the best performance of his career. He is heartbreaking in this movie. He is devastating. His performance is so excellent. And yeah, I mean, Marriage Story. It's on Netflix. If you've got Netflix, watch it. It is a spectacular movie. Number 4, Booksmart. If you want to have a lot of fun, you cannot go wrong with Booksmart. This is the most fun movie of the entire year. I saw it like 4 times last year. I saw it twice in the same week with my sister. We went to see it, and we loved it so much that we literally went to see it again. Like that Thursday, so it was like a couple days later. Oh my gosh, the characters are so funny, and everyone has like this, all the different parts, they all have a different piece of the puzzle, and they're all funny or wacky or interesting. And then the soundtrack of this movie pushes the movie from scene to scene with such velocity and with such power that like you're just on a never-ending riot. It's a riot. It really is. It's a great word. Okay, number 3, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. It's the one. It won the Oscars. It broke all the records. It's the best international film, first international film to win Best Picture, and it deserved it too. I mean, I wouldn't have given it Best Picture because you'll see what I listed as Best Picture, but I can't blame anyone for saying that this is the best movie of the year, because it is just so good. One of the best movies about class that I've seen in years. The story development, the layers that the film has, it's funny. You know, the characters are funny. The situation is funny. It's suspenseful. It's a thriller. It's deep. It's sad. I mean, the range of emotions that you can experience in a theater, it gives you all of them. And that is why people are raving about it. And that is why it deserves to be in the top 10. Okay, number 2, Martin Scorsese's The Irishman. You know, sometimes you think like, oh, it's Martin Scorsese. He's one of the greatest directors of all time. He's going to come out with a new movie. Is it going to be really good? Like, you get a little nervous. Like, I get nervous sometimes. Like, is it actually going to be as good as I hope it's going to be? And The Irishman was not only as good as I was hoping it was, it was so much, it blew me away. And there are some classic scenes in there that I will be quoting forever. You know, I mean, he made a new Martin Scorsese classic. You know, not every film he's ever made is in his, like, best, you know. It's not like everything he makes is gold. This is gold. This is a golden movie. I mean, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel, Al Pacino. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Everything about this movie is worthwhile. Okay, my number 1 film of the year, Uncut Gems by the Safdie brothers. These guys are so freaking talented. Good Time is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Uncut Gems is such a satisfying follow-up to it. I was so looking forward to this movie, and I was not disappointed in the least. Adam Sandler's performance is legendary. I mean, it is just incredible. And the pacing of this movie and the soundtrack and the filming, the cinematography, shot on film in New York. It's set in the Diamond District. Oh, it's so gritty. It's so funny. It's so enjoyable. It's intense. I watched it, and then the next day I went and took my wife to it to see it again, and oh man. Yeah, so it was a great year for movies. These are all, I mean, just the fact that that I was able to list 12 very good movies is a sign that it was a really wonderful year. If you haven't seen these movies, you should check them out. See the ones you haven't seen. You will absolutely be satisfied. So, those are my recommendations for the best films of 2019. Thanks.